Hello, gentlemen. Today I'm going to break down a new scheme for you out of the A-slot formation, which can be found in the Kansas State playbook. Now, it can also be found in the Iowa and Texas A&M playbooks. So you have some other options, but it's just those few that I'm aware of. But before we get into it, just a quick heads up that I did drop my new defense on acemadden.com last night. It is going to be the double mug defense, and this is available in every single playbook in the game. Literally every team has a form of double mug. Some are going to be 3-3, some are going to be just like the standard double mug. And it works the same way in both. So if you guys are struggling on defense, go become a member. Use code AGAP for 25% off on monthly membership. You'll gain access to everything we have on the site. That includes both offenses and both defenses. Very good deal. You'll definitely improve and start winning more games. But as you can see from the clips, the pressure goes kind of crazy. It doesn't matter if we send 4, 5, or 6. The quarterback is going to be under duress the entire game, and he's going to have to make quick decisions. So if you want your life to be easier on defense, go check out the double mug. Okay, so I'm going to briefly talk about the depth chart for Kansas State if you're going to use this team. For the starting running back, I would use Giddens because I actually think Dylan Edwards is better at receiver. If you look at his abilities in the bottom right, he does have plat takeoff, and he also has gold 360. 360 has been nerfed, but that plat takeoff is very, very good. So he's better served at wide receiver, in my opinion. For the tight ends, I would say you just want to put as much speed there as possible. Unfortunately, Kansas State doesn't really have much, so I would just start their two best guys. For receiver, we're going to use Edwards, like I said, at the slot receiver, and then we're going to use, I would say Jaden Jackson would be your best bet on the outside receiver. 93 speed, he's also 6'1". You have this guy here who's 95 speed, but, it's a 12 overall difference. I would just use Jaden Jackson. So we're going to start this off by talking about the run plays. There are a ton in this formation. We have quarterback power, DIY reverse. We have read option, inside zone, RPO Alert Bubble, quick base, DIY zone reverse. So we have a ton of options. Now, I wouldn't say all of them are necessarily good, but all of them do have use case. So let me show you, for instance, the DIY zone reverse. This one's going to be really good against people who are spamming like mid blitz, double mug, because it has like the zone blocking, which is what you want whenever people run double mug. So you see how there was a big hole there because everybody just gets blocked up front, and overall it's just a good run against double A gap or double mug. So I would use it for this case. I wouldn't use it for the actual reverse. You could use it, but you might just get popped like that. So I recommend just kind of using it as like an outside zone against double mug. Next, we have QB power, and this one's going to be good in specific use cases. If they don't have a cornerback on the tight end side or on the running back side, then it's going to be better. So like right here, if I run it, it's going to be a +1 for the defense, and we probably won't get much. But if they're in like a man line look to the trip side, that's when we can run it over there. And then if you want to run it to the other side, you can flip the run with your right stick. So right stick left in this case, and this will be okay. Sometimes it'll be really good. Sometimes you might get popped by the defensive end. That's just kind of the way it works. So like right here, ends up being pretty good. If you have a fast quarterback, you can get some decent games with this. Next, we have the RPO Alert Bubble, and this one's very straightforward. All you're going to do is read the defender above the bubble, which is B. And if he goes with the bubble, then just let it hand off. And then if he just freezes up, then you throw it. So let's have a look. So he freezed up here. We have Edwards, 95 speed. And great player to have there catching this. Hopefully you get a good rack animation. See how he froze up for just a second? That's what you want. And then, of course, if you just want to hand it off, just hit, snap the ball and then let it hand off. So just like that. And just to kind of wrap this up so we can get to the passing plays, read option, inside zone, and quick base are all usable. But I would really just rather use the read option over the inside zone. And then the quick base is going to be good versus like Penny and stuff like that. But like read option, very straightforward. All you're going to find is a read key. So it's the guy with the R above him. If he stands up and freezes, then we are going to hand it off to the running back. And then if he chases, then we're going to take off with our quarterback by keeping it with A or X. So let's have a look. Okay, it looked like he was crashing, to be fair. Do it again, right here. Get out to the edge. So he almost recovered there. Okay, there we go. Take with the quarterback. So very, very easy. Okay, let's get into some passing plays. So post is an all-time great. This play has always been good, and no exception this year, or I guess in college football 25. So post, and we'll do random play. And I didn't mention this in the run section, but you do want to run this with your trips to the wide side. So the ball is on the right hash. That means you want, your receivers to be on the left, and then vice versa. And the first setup is extremely simple. All we're going to do is stem the tight end all the way down. So I'll go ahead and walk you through it. Hit wire triangle A for the tight end on the right, and then LB or L1, and then left stick all the way down until he looks like this. Basically looks like a backward slant. And, against man coverage, he's typically going to be the read. In this case, everything kind of gets bagged except for this angle route. But against man coverage, you have the corner from the tight end, you have the corner from the receiver, and the angle route. So right here, this looks like it's going to be a zone. I'm actually going to look to the strong side now. Let's see what we have over there. So you're going to see we're going to have this short corner route oftentimes because that post on the outside is going to clear out. And if we get a good look at cover 2, I can show you what happens here with this post. You'll split the safeties oftentimes. But yeah, this is just a very effective setup. You can call this multiple times a game. It's just fundamentally good. It's like right here, he got bumped. He would have separated if he didn't get bumped there. This might be a cover 2. Try to hit the post again. Had to buy a lot of time to get that, but there will definitely be a nice little window between the safeties. For post number 2, we are going to slant Y, which is the trip side tight end. You're going to crosser the other tight end. You are going to zig the slot receiver, which is B, and then we are going to flat the running back, or you can block him, either one. I would say in most cases you do want to send him out on a route, but if you're facing somebody who's sending a meta blitz at you, go ahead and block him. That'll be fine. But for now, I'm just going to go ahead and flat him. So the way you want to read this, if you're expecting a man coverage, I would read zig first and then move to the crosser. And then if you're expecting zone, I would do slant to crosser. So let's have a look. Right here, this is a good example of what happens when you have the flat on the field, pulling zones to the sideline, creating a window for this slant. Okay, we'll do it again. So right here, this is a good example of actually a good kind of match coverage. That hook curl matched the crosser. The good news is in game, the user's going to either go with the slant or with the crosser. Right there, here's the slant. But yeah, very effective. You can run this multiple times a game. So right here might be a man. The zig actually got bagged because I think that was a shade down man. Shade down man with press is like the only thing that's going to take away a zig sometimes. Okay, do it again. Good example of match again. But remember, in game, it's going to be a little bit different. Because one of those middle zones is going to be a user. It's like right here, zig completely torching man coverage. And let's go ahead and run this just one more time. Okay. There's the window. The next play is going to be X spot. And this one is really good versus zone. It can also beat man, but I'd say it's mainly a zone beater. And the way we're going to set it up is putting your trips tight end on an in route and then wheel your running back. So this is what the first setup is going to look like. And what we're really looking for is we want to hit the post from the tight end, against zone because that's going to be our chunk play. But don't be afraid to take these little checkdowns with like the in route from the tight end. So like right here, this was a man coverage. I should have hit my corner route. Against zone, you're oftentimes going to have this spot route. The only thing that's going to cover this consistently is going to be a man up or a shaded down yellow. And, somebody playing a shaded down yellow there is going to be kind of weird, to be honest. It's going to be very uncommon. So you can hit this spot route constantly because it's not going to get usered. It's a very safe throw. Any kind of zone blitz, you're going to have it. I'll try to hit the tight end post. You can have it right here. So this looks like man coverage. You want to try to hit the corner route. Again, don't be afraid to take your check down if you have to. Probably would have had the running back in a second too. Okay, I thought that guy was going to bite back down on the spot. But he went back and defended that. Right here, take your 5-yard gain. Oh, he drops it. But yeah, overall, this is an effective little setup. There's your post. For the next setup, we're going to incorporate motion. This is the only setup I'm giving you that has motion. So you might have to use your own creativity to, add on to this a little bit and, find some more route combinations that involve motion. But we're going to motion this slot receiver across and let him set. As for the rest of the play, and you can set it up before you motion if you want, but bang 8, X, and then drag both tight ends. So we have this mesh concept over the middle, and then we have like this short post route. So he was a corner route, he's now a post route, and this is going to be very good versus both zone and man coverage. Anytime you run a mesh, it's very effective against man. Guys will bump into each other. These drags do a good job of getting open. And if you get time, you can hit this right here. Only thing that's going to cover that are zone drops. And I'll show you how you can mix it up a little bit too. Right there, user's going to have to pick between one of the drags and the post. So what you can do if you want to just change this setup up just a little bit is you can motion this guy across and then drag him. So now we're running the mesh with the receiver and a tight end and letting the tight end run the post. So that's just a small little variation. If your opponent is kind of mixing things up, you can do something like that if you want. The drag ran way too deep there. Run it again. Here we go. Much better that time. Anyways, that's going to be it for the Kansas State A-Slot mini scheme. If you guys want me to add on to this, just let me know in the comment section. And if this video gets to 500 likes, I will know that I need to add on to this mini scheme. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. And then if you want to start dominating on defense, go check out the double mug defense on acemadden.com. We have that up as well as the 3-4 odd. If you combine them both, you're going to start dominating. See you guys in the next one.